So this is on the Nijisanji subreddit. And then it says notes on the Niji contract streams. So this is the actual contract itself. I mean, I'll try to take a look at the whole thing. Someone was nice enough to share it with me. So let's get into it. It says notes on the Niji contract stream. The user Roderick, they said, figured I'd summarize some points from the currently still ongoing stream from Legal Mindset. I am not a lawyer. I am an adorable VTuber kitty on the internet, okay? So please take what I say with a grain of salt. Okay. As for payment, most stuff is subject to separate agreements. However, the contract does cover super chats and maybe sponsorships. In this case, after any potential cuts taken by YouTube and or Apple, Nijisanji takes 50%. Any income made as a VTuber has to go through Nijisanji. So, I mean, that Super Saiyan sucks. Like a 50-50 split after, you know, gross. Gross pay is what employees earn before taxes. It's gross because of how much they take. Okay. Benefits and other payroll deductions are withheld from their wages. The amount remaining after all withholdings are accounted for is your net. That kind of sucks. The 50-50 split. Wow. Like, considering that you do all the work, they get 50-50. I mean, is that legal? No. Is it crappy? Yeah. But anyways, we'll keep going. Nijisanji may compel the liver to purchase anything company considers required to work, but will only reimburse 1,333 USD. This part sucks. Can you imagine having to buy your own equipment and then like they're like, yeah, you're capped at like $1,000 for the amount of technology that you need to be a VTuber? That sucks. Like if I'm doing company work, I should be doing it on company equipment. You know what I mean? And then, so I mean, like, okay, so there's two parts to this, right? You could argue, like guys, like, in my past life, I used to be a federal agent, right? I think I've told you guys this before anyways. But, so when I worked for them, I had my own equipment, right? And then when that relationship dissolved, they came and they took the equipment. So I no longer had access to anything, which is fine. But I didn't have to pay for the equipment. So if you have to pay for the equipment and they have to repossess it, that kind of sucks. However, if you have to pay for the equipment and then you get to keep it, great, but also kind of crappy. Kind of crappy because they're forcing you into debt in a way, right? A lot of these VTubers are kind of like forced into debt sometimes. Anyways, we're going to keep going. It says, talents must provide certain information to Nijisanji. This may be mistaken for personal information. However, the contract as written, this theory requires the library to turn over nearly any information Nijisanji wants. Yes. This is very unclear. I feel like a company should not have this much control over you, right? Like, this is kind of like a little bit overkill, right? It's a little bit overkill. Libraries are under an obligation to cooperate, include attending meetings, etc. You are obligated to cooperate. So like the Niji defenders were like, well, you know, they're contractors, right? Like they're contractors. What's the big deal, right? But the thing is, like, Legal Mindset, he put this beautifully. He was just like, well, you know, they're not contractors because a contractor, you get to like do and say what you please. You dictate the terms, right? Whereas an employee, the company is taking responsibility of you, right? Like in Article 1 of the contract, it says there's a training program. So that a training program, that's more of an employee thing, not a contractor thing, right? Right. Like this gentleman says here, you know, Niji gets to determine where you work. Niji gets to determine all your social media. Niji determines what kind of computer you can use. Niji, like the Niji, long story short, that is not a contractor. That is an employee, right? Contractor has a lot more free will, whereas an employee is more like the company is responsible for the employee, right? They're taking that kind of responsibility on, whereas a contractor is responsible for themselves, if that makes sense. Okay. And it says libraries must procure materials under their own cost and responsibility. They may not be used for any other purpose, be altered, reproduced, or transferred, but still belongs to Nijisanji. Huh? If a library somehow does gain copyright over anything, it is immediately transferred to Nijisanji. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That sucks. That's really sucks. Okay, so you have to... This is gross, actually. Okay, all right. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is kind of gross. So you have to get your own materials. You have to pay for it. but it belongs to the company. What? What? That's like you buying a pen, and then you're like, well, I bought this pen. They're like, well, you're not getting reimbursed for the pen, but also that's now our pen. It's like, excuse me? Excuse me? What? No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That is so wrong. That is so bizarre. Under your own cost, but it belongs to Niji. That's oh my god, that's incredibly dumb. Oh my god. You can see, okay guys, you can see a little bit now how Doki could have gotten into like 200K, especially because you're not reimbursed by the company. But like you're literally doing company things. So those things wouldn't exist without the company, yet the company's not going to pay for it. Like, no wonder the guy's a billionaire. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to pay for anything. This is so dumb. Okay, so it says, once the contract ends, livers need to return everything they used for their work. Seems to be written to include any of their personal property if they use any. What? I don't know about that. You got to return everything they use for their work. So you have to buy the equipment, and they'll only reimburse you $1,000, but also they get to take your amazing supercomputer once you're done working for them. That doesn't seem fair. I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but I don't know. Okay. Livers are contractually prohibited from streaming a long list of stuff, including images that induce bullying, harassment of a third party, images that may cause trouble or discomfort to a third party, or anything Nijisanji considers to be inappropriate. That's weird. They have something against bullying and harassment? That's written into their contract? That's very interesting. Okay. As you guys know, there's internal bullying and harassment at Niji, so the fact that it's actually mentioned in the contract and they don't enforce it is kind of bizarre. Okay. If a liver is just suspended or terminated, Niji may terminate livers at any time without reason. That's freaking gross. You don't even get like a warning. You don't get like you know how sometimes like people make mistakes. We're human beings. We're not robots, right? So people make mistakes. So a lot of times when people make mistakes, they're like, okay, we're just gonna send you in for additional training. They're not like, you're fired immediately. Like in Canada, anyways, you have a 3-month probationary period, right? Where they can fire you for anything. You can sneeze the wrong way and they can fire you for it. But after like 3 months, then there's like, you have a little bit more protections, right? So that's kind of sucks. Like at any time throughout your entire career, you can get fired without reason. That's bizarre. That's a very, like, how, like, okay, can you imagine why the Niji people are feeling so mentally burnt out? Imagine like being on pins and needles every single day. You're like, oh man, I hope I don't get fired today. Oh man, I hope something stupid doesn't happen. Oh man, I hope I don't check my analytics on stream and mention a country and get fired for it. Like, this is insane. That's gross. Okay. Sorry, let's continue. If a liver is suspended or terminated, Niji may terminate livers at any time without reason. They owe a penalty equal to 50% of income through this contract for an unspecified period. Oh, wait, you can get fired and owe the company money. Hold on, maybe I mean, if a liver is suspended or terminated, they owe a penalty equal to 50% of the income through this contract for an unspecified period. If they specifically breach the list of things they can't stream, the penalty is equal to the amount of money they made while in breach. Oh, or the amount they made in the 12 months prior, whichever is higher. Oh my god. Ew. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. So you get fired from Nijisanji. Okay, let's just say you get fired from Nijisanji. You owe Nijisanji 50% of whatever you made in the prior 12 months. How? Oh my god. This seems so illegal. Because that money is already gone. That money is already spent. You spent it like, you know, on bills or living your life or something. So you have to like, they have to backdate what you made. And then you have to pay them that based on them firing you at any point. They could just fire you at any point. Like, what? Excuse me? Excuse me? This is so evil. This is so evil. I don't know, man. Okay, wow. No wonder so many VTubers are in debt. This contract is insane. Absolutely insane. Can you imagine like being so like punishment vibes like to your employees? Oh, this is awful. And it says Niji does not guarantee that libraries will make any money at all. That sucks. If you're on the corporate bus, you should at least have like at least like a base wage. That's weird. How can you dedicate everything to this dream and just be like you're lucky if you get paid like that? No, that's incorrect. That's absolutely incorrect. If you are an independent, absolutely that makes sense. You're building your own brand, you're relying on you. However, one of the perks of being part of a corporation would be that they have a built-in fan base and that you're at least gonna make some money. You're at least gonna make a little bit of money. Niji doesn't guarantee anything at all, really. So why bother? Why bother signing up with them? I don't get it. Notably, it's the library's responsibility to know if any given thing is legal, to deal with copyright strikes, or to deal with disputes or vendors of artists. Oh, the library's gotta do all that? What does Niji do then? Man, it sounds like Niji does like nothing at all except just leech your money from you. Wow, because they don't even deal with like that's the heavy stuff, copyright strikes and all that. Niji specifically limits any amount they will pay to the library for breach of contract on their side to the money the talent has made in the previous 6 months, even in cases where Nijisanji has been intentionally or grossly negligent. Wow, oh my god. However, if a library causes any amount of monetary damage to Nijisanji, they'll need to repay that in full. And they're so evil. They're so evil. Okay. If disputes, including legal disputes, arise between libraries, Nijisanji must be notified, but otherwise does not do anything. They will not mediate or mitigate. Wow, management doesn't even manage. There's like no HR. They're like, whatever, deal with it. That's ridiculous. Imagine having a fight with your coworker and being like, hey, I gotta take time off work because I'm, having a legal battle with my coworker over who stole my crackers on lunch break. Like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. Like, they don't do anything. They don't do anything. They're absolute garbage. What a garbage company. If a library is terminated, they must turn over any deliverables on work which have already started. Music videos, etc. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But at that point, who really cares? Like, you're firing me? Eat a bag of PPs. Seriously. Niji may amend the contract, and the library is assumed to have agreed if they don't object in 14 days. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's weird. That's really weird. Contract negotiations can go on for like years. Like, for example, when I was a federal agent, contract negotiations went on for sometimes 4 years at a time. So 14 days is kind of insane. It's kind of insane. Like it's a small time frame. So Niji may amend the contract the library is assumed to have agreed on if they don't object in 14 days, or if they pretty much do anything in their VTuber persona. They may contractually compel a library to tweet a random thing, thus agreeing to contract amendments they didn't even know existed. That seems super Saiyan sus. That is, anytime a contract is changed, like, it needs to be, like, very, very clear. But it seems like they're just, you're like, they're just amending stuff, like, in your sleep, and, like, you don't even know. You don't even know. So making amendments to the contract, they can even do that, like, while you're off sick, while you're in hospital. That's not okay. That is, like, this time frame is too short. And the fact that they can just arbitrarily amend something without you knowing about it is also very strange. And then they said at the bottom, apparently I forgot to mention that Nijisanji gets to specify from where libraries may do their job, even though it is fully remote by definition. There doesn't seem to be any restrictions on this, so if a library happens to piss off management, I hope they're happy streaming from the moon, or they'll be in breach of contract. No! Oh no, that's a very good point. Yeah, because Niji gets to tell you. Niji's like, if you jump If I say jump, you say how high. Oh my god, that's terrible. Edit number 2. I somehow didn't think about this until now, but consider that much of the payment structure is subject to additional agreements. More specifically, these are individual agreements between each liver and company. There is a non-zero chance that this is the case because they will try to lowball each individual liver. Absolutely. If everyone got the same proportions, it would not be possible for them to potentially get people to accept lower rates. Even though it is worth noting, this is pure speculation. Yeah, I mean, they're probably playing favoritism, right? Everyone should be getting their fair share of the pie. But they know, like Niji knows that they're trying to take advantage of the creative type, right? The creative type person, they're not the logic-based person. They're not the person who is like, the creative artist is just, you know, the person playing games and having fun and doing improv for 3 hours. Like, yeah, like essentially like a creative person will sign just because they want their dream to come true, right? So like they're willing to like overlook, you know, any sort of like red flags. They're like, I know that this seems a little bit weird, but at the same time, maybe, you know, this is the thing that's gonna like push my career, or this is gonna be the thing I've been working towards my whole life, right? So it's just sad that they know who they are taking advantage of. Long story short, it's just really sad and disgusting. Instead of it being like a beautiful symbiotic relationship, it's more like a leech situation where Niji's just super gross. Okay, guys, I'm gonna read the juicy. Let me read the juicy bottom part. Everything about this contract sounds so predatory to the talent. Reminds me of good old machinima. Right? I know. But even worse. But what's even worse is the shitty clause that where you have to produce under your own cost and it belongs to Niji. Yeah, I get that it's part of the deal that the company owns the model and design and stuff, but it's still really painful to hear. Pair that with stupid cause that makes the talent liable to pay the company if they get terminated for any reason. Exactly. I hope that everyone hires a good lawyer before they sign a contract, because in a lot of cases things can be negotiated if you have enough leverage. Yes and no. I feel like they're just such a mega corporation. They're like a juggernaut. They're like, whatever. If you don't sign up with us, somebody else will. And it's gross. It's really gross. And it's very predatory. So when you sign with Niji, you basically give up a large portion of your money, a lot of your freedom, and in return you get a model, the okay to slap the Niji logo on your streams, and potentially greater exposure, so long as you don't get lost in the wave after wave of new livers they put out. Sounds like you get the worst of being a corpo and the worst of being an indie, but you get exposure. Totally worth it, right? They can demand you to move to Japan, and the cherry on top, it is out of your pocket, not Niji's. That's exactly correct. Good God, I made a joke a while back about MLM being better business opportunity, but it really doesn't seem as funny now. My conclusion after the stream is that Niji literally serves no purpose. Yup. To his talents beyond the brand recognition. Other than that, they exist to bleed every penny they can out of you. It is absurd, and anyone who defends this is genuinely disgusting. I have to agree. Oh, also, guys, sorry, really quick. False ID was able to... False ID was in the stream last night, and they said, Lydia will have a video on this before the clock strikes midnight. And I'm like, oh my God, Senpai noticed me. That is hilarious. That is so funny. Anyways, guys, yeah, my lovelies, it's time. Thank you so much for watching the video. Shout out to my patrons that help make these videos possible. If you want to help support the channel, you can always join me on Patreon, subscribe to me on Twitch, or become a member on YouTube. I also have links to merch in the description below. As always, I appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah! Do this. We can relabel it as Contract ASMR. This is Contract ASMR. Damn it. I should have read everything like Article 31 matters for discussion with respect to any doubt regarding the interpretation of any provision of this agreement or any matter that is not prescribed in this agreement. Party A and Party B shall hold discussions in good faith to resolve such a matter. Damn it! That would have made the stream more interesting. Why didn't I think of that sooner?